If you slept through 2017, you may have woken up a few months ago really confused about the state of the gaming industry. Wait a second, I hear you saying. What happened to all the MOBAs, and what the heck is a PUBG? The Battle Royale phenomenon didn't start in 2017, but with the skyrocketing popularity of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and then Fortnite Battle Royale last year, it has turned into the new de facto game mode that everyone apparently has to copy in some way. The everyone for themselves 100-player competitive shooter, or competitive run-and-hide simulator if you play it like me, has inspired a few interesting interpretations of the formula, in addition to a metric butt-ton of soulless ripoffs, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. And now, just like MOBAs before it, the Battle Royale genre has recently made the leap to smartphones. What's perhaps surprising about that leap is that the games that actually wound up on smartphones are not new mobile games that borrowed tropes from the full games that popularized the genre, but rather mobile versions of the two games that actually started all this. PUBG Mobile and Fortnite Mobile are bespoke mobile ports of the two progenitors in the Battle Royale field. They're both free to play, and they both claim to give you the full Battle Royale experience wrapped up in a mobile package. So what do you say we throw these two mobile games into an arena together and see which one comes out on top? Yes, that was a Battle Royale metaphor. Of course it was. You really should have seen that coming. Let's start with the OG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. The mobile port of this game was not in fact developed by the developer behind the desktop and console versions of PUBG, but rather by Tencent Games, a Chinese mobile game developer that rivals major AAA console publishers in size and profit. They're no strangers to developing iOS and Android games, and the instant polish apparent in PUBG Mobile shows it. The game looks great for a mobile game, with visuals that are virtually indistinguishable from your console version, assuming that you have your Xbox One X plugged into a 5-inch TV. Which, dang, where did you find a TV that small? There are inherent issues with playing a shooter on a touchscreen device. For my money, the hierarchy of controls for a shooter go mouse and keyboard first, controller in a close second, smashing priceless pottery against your forehead a distant third, and on-screen touch controls bringing up the rear. Typically, they're pretty terrible. That being said, PUBG's implementation of the controls is the best I've seen, keeping the number of on-screen buttons to a minimum of what they have to have, and avoiding clutter if at all possible. There are other issues with porting a game like this to mobile, like how most players won't have headphones plugged in or stereo speakers on their devices, so they won't be able to get any directionality from the sound of footsteps in the game. PUBG Mobile overcomes that with these little icons on the minimap that display the approximate location of footsteps and other noises in relation to your position. The only issue with that methodology is it can be difficult to instantly know which direction you're facing on the minimap, meaning that while you can see the noise's position, you might still not know which side of you they're on. The final hurdle, and possibly the largest in most mobile games, is pricing. The game obviously needs to turn a profit, but mobile gamers are notoriously bad when it comes to paying for things. As a result, the marketplace has been saturated with free-to-play games that use boredom as a game mechanic that can only be overcome via money. But while Tencent Games has a long history of such free-to-play monstrosities, and PUBG Mobile is indeed free-to-play, it's actually quite friendly. All of the pay-to-unlock stuff is purely cosmetic, and the core gameplay of a Battle Royale game is inherently equalizing. Everyone starts off with nothing, and everyone has the same chances of finding the same stuff. You don't have to spend any money to have fun playing the core game, you'll just have to start every match in nothing but your boxers. This is a trend I could stand to see more of. The purely cosmetic microtransactions, I mean, not the boxer thing. I could stand to see more purely cosmetic microtransactions. To be clear. Now, moving over to see how the copycat compares, let's talk about Fortnite Battle Royale. The mobile version of this game has been developed by Epic Games, the developers behind the original, and if you want my guess, they did it to showcase how well their Unreal game engine scales across platforms. In case you were wondering, the engine does scale really well across platforms, and the game looks almost exactly the same on iOS devices as it does on PC and console, taking great advantage of their Retina displays. What's particularly great about this is that PUBG is also developed using Epic's Unreal Engine. It's maybe not surprising that the developers behind the engine itself managed to get a slightly better visual experience going. That being said, the game is currently limited to iOS devices only. An Android version is reportedly coming soon. To offset that platform limitation, and to further display the advantages of owning the development of every version of your game, Epic has got the mobile version of Fortnite running on the same servers as every other version of the game. That means that, should you choose, you can play against Xbox, PlayStation, and PC opponents from your iPhone. Which is a terrible idea and a good way to lose quickly, because what I said earlier about touchscreen controls is just as true in Fortnite as it is in PUBG. The added level of difficulty here is that Fortnite also includes a building system on top of the normal kill and focus system. The additional complexity of those controls on top of an already crowded screen means that the gameplay suffers as a result. To try and help you out some against your superior console and PC challengers, Fortnite does give you a rather nice visualization of sound. Again, Epic Games knows that most people won't be playing with stereo sound or any sound at all, and so they visualize gunshots and footsteps directionally on screen in the same kind of way they visualize which direction you're getting shot from. It makes it easier to know where people are around you, and while I wouldn't say it levels the playing field against the other platforms, it does fill in the hole the mobile players are in quite a bit. But seriously, unless you're literally the god of touchscreen controls, just leave the settings pointed toward other mobile players. That's much more fun. On balance, the games trade blows with each other pretty evenly. Fortnite looks a little better than PUBG, but PUBG's interface is cleaner and easier. PUBG lets you play on iOS and Android, but Fortnite lets you challenge traditional gaming platforms around the world. Both games keep microtransactions limited to cosmetics that don't affect gameplay, and somewhat bizarrely, neither supports Bluetooth controllers for the time being, though both have said that's coming. In the end, despite Fortnite's better sound visualization, impressive cross-platform support, and a hair better visual polish, I think I'd give the edge to PUBG. The fact of the matter is that the controls are just better and the interface is much easier to use. Epic Games have got a winner on their hands with Fortnite, there's no doubt. But for the time being, Tencent is flexing muscles gained over years of mobile development. Fortnite might be a better game, but PUBG is a better mobile game. If you've only got enough bothers to spare for just one of them, download PUBG. Also, if you only have access to Android devices. I guess that was kind of the only option you folks had anyways. But trust me on this, Android gamers, you aren't missing out on much this time.